up to, I'll get a pop-up that, okay, the recording has started. So we will start this course. As we know, this is the Structured Programming Language Lab. The course teacher, I'm your course teacher, Minhajul Rashid. I'm a lecturer here. Okay. One thing I'd like to know, how many of you have actually completed the Structured Programming Language theory course? How many of you? Can you just raise your hands using the hand raise button?
But sir, some of us didn't got the class of SQL.
Yeah, I know.
It's our second trimester.
It is expected that you should continue SPL and SPL Lab together in the same trimester, but some of you might have completed the theory course long ago. Not long ago, probably in the last trimester, avoided the SPL Lab, and now is continuing the lab course here. Okay, so I can see around 7 to 8 people are continuing. 7 to 8 people have completed their SPL course, so hopefully it will be easier for you to catch up. But at least I'll try to teach. I'll try to continue the lectures in such that even if you're a newcomer, you can continue with that. Okay. So this is our course, and we know that the language we are going to study here is the C programming language, right?
Yes, sir.
We're going to learn C programming language here. Okay. So first of all, I had to let some of you, I think 4 or 5 of you, enter manually, or they had to request me to get in. So I think they've probably not completed the registration yet, or logged in with their personal account rather than UIU account. So it is recommended when you're joining classes in Google, when you're joining your classes in Google Meet, you should be logged in using the email address UIU provided, right? If you're logged in from your personal email address, there will be you cannot directly enter. You'll have to request me, and I'll have to accept it, which is both annoying for you and me as well. So just log in using your UIU email address, and if you have multiple accounts logged in, whenever you try to enter Google Meet, you'll see in this corner, you'll see the account you're currently logged in. If you can see, as you can see, this is my UIU account. So if you are logged in from your personal account, just click switch account, log into the institutional email, and then get inside the class. Okay. Onindita Chakma, do you want to say something? Okay. Okay then, so this is the first thing that you have to log in using your institutional email. Next is the marks breakdown. Now this is one good news and one bad news. The good news is there is no midterm or final exams, but the bad news is there's a huge mark percentage in lab test. We have 10% marks on attendance and class class discussions. We have 20% marks on assignment, and we have 70% marks on lab tests, or online as we say that. Okay, so this is our marks breakdown. There are no other evaluations, only assignments and lab tests.
Sir, lab test means quizzes.
Lab test means you'll have to open your IDE and do some programming in given time.
Okay, sir.
Sir, lab test best quota count hobe?
At least one will be deducted. I'll tell you now. First of all, we have some in-class activities, which is lectures. I know this is a lab course, but still some of the topics might occur before your theory classes. So I'll start with the lectures, and there will also be some practice problems. Now about the practice problems, I'll give you the problems, but you'll have to submit the practice problems as well in LMS. This will be evaluated for your overall performance. This will be evaluated for your overall performance and also impact your attendance marks. Okay, one thing, I will take your attendance automatically. Okay, no need to write your ID or name on the chat box. Nothing like that is necessary. I have I have a plugin which I use to automatically track your attendance when you're coming, when you're leaving. So I'll use that for giving you attendance. But the marks will also include your your practice problem performances. And of course, be sure if you're having any trouble, do not hesitate to ask me. If you're having trouble, do ask me about the solution. If you're having any problem, you cannot understand things, please let me know. Okay, these practice problems are kind of mandatory in the sense that I will track your performances through this, and probably if you're weak in performance, I will try to guide you through email or some other systems. So this one is important. If you are not submitting any practice problems, that will imply that you are not learning anything. So I want you to submit these problems, practice problems. Then comes the large percentage lab tests. Lab tests will probably, I think Saima Hauladar, she claims she's not hearing anything. Can you open your headphone if you're using one? Or if you're not using one, can you connect a headphone? I think that will help you. Or otherwise, you can leave and join again. Okay. So about lab tests, this will be held almost frequently. I'll give you the course outline by the end of today's class. Okay, I will give you the course outline by the end of today's class. So we'll start our lab tests from the third. We'll start our lab test from our third class, from the third week. We'll start our lab tests. Every lab test will be held at the beginning of the class. Okay, so you all have to be present sharp at 2:30 to attend the lab test. And I will not announce it later again. Starting from third week, every day there will be a lab test. So you'll have to attend them. At least one worst lab test will be ignored. Say for example, if I can take 6 lab tests in total, I will consider the first 5, or if there are 7, I'll consider the best 6, like that. Okay. The course must be submitted in LMS in due time, and if you're having trouble, you can also send me an email. But one thing is important. If you try any kind of plagiarism, that will result in severe punishment from the very first day. We will start lab tests from day 3. We'll start lab tests from the third week. And in the very first lab test, if you're trying to plagiate, if you're trying to copy code from your friends or from some outside sources, that will result in severe punishment. So please don't make me do that. Okay. Next comes assignments. The same plagiarism policy is also applicable here. The thing is, you'll get time for submitting your assignments, so the deadline will not be extended without prior permission. If you need an extension, you'll have to let me know before the deadline, and the extension will only be allowed if I can judge it correct. Okay, if I think you can be allowed, only then you'll be granted an extension. Otherwise, it will not be given. Okay, so this is about the assignments. Finally, when we are attending lab tests, there are always some technical difficulties. Some of you might have internet connectivity problems. Some of you might have electricity outage. There are many technical difficulties. So if you have any trouble during any of the lab tests, let me know immediately. Okay, you should let me know immediately over phone. You should save my email address and phone number in your cell phone. You can get these contact information in LMS. Okay. So please save them. Do not tell me after deadline that, sir, I did not have your mobile number. Please save it right now. You can find the number in LMS. Okay. So in case of any technical difficulties, let me know immediately. Whenever the problem occurs, just let me know and keep me informed. If you keep me informed, I can assist you. If you don't keep me informed, I don't know what's happening with you, so I cannot help you. Okay. So just keep me informed and there will be no trouble. Okay. When comes counseling, I think there is no designated counseling hour nowadays because everything is online. So what you have to do, you have to send me an email to schedule a counseling time. And about that, if you're looking for a class review, you can find the lectures in the, you can find the class lectures in LMS. So I think class review will not be allowed. But if you're having any problem in understanding, say you have problem in understanding a concept, or you're having problem in understanding a specific problem, a specific code, then you can surely knock. Then you can surely knock me or schedule a counseling time. Okay. Next up, I will provide you the materials and lecture videos in LMS. If you log into LMS right now, let me just share that with you. Yeah, can you see my browser window?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are the general instructions. So this is my email address and phone number. You should save it immediately right now. This is the folder. This is the link where you'll get the slides and practice problems, etc. This is the folder. You will find the raw. You'll find the lecture. You'll find the lecture videos in MP4 format. I will provide you with a separate link, which will be a YouTube playlist where the lectures will be available as well. And this is the link of the Facebook group of this course. Please join it. And while you are joining, make sure you answer the question given. You answer the question while joining the group. There is a question. You'll have to answer it. If you don't answer it, I cannot allow you to join. Okay. So please do answer the question. So let's get back to the slide. So these are the things that will be available in LMS and YouTube. And to communicate with me, the only allowed communication media are email, phone call, LMS private messaging, and Facebook group. Okay. If you want to know something from me, you can tag me in a you can tag me in the Facebook group. You can send me an email. You can send me a phone call. You can send me a message in LMS. But otherwise, other kinds of IMs are strongly prohibited. Like Messenger, WhatsApp, Viber, Imo are out of the scope. So do not use them. Only use these medias, email, phone, LMS, and Facebook group to communicate with me. Okay? So these are the course policies. So now we are going to begin the class. So I think this is not your first programming course, right? There was another programming course which is also known as Introduction to Computer Systems, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there I think you had taught. So there I think you were taught until loop, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You were taught until you were taught till loop.
Yes, sir.
So okay. So we will today we're going to do a quick review about the previous topics. Please give me some time. I'll open my IDE code blocks. I think we all know how to open a project, right? In code blocks.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
স্যার আপনি একটা রিভিউ করে দিলে আর একটু ভালো হয়
Okay. Okay. Then just give me some time. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when we're trying to open a project, why do you have to open a project? In your programs, you might have to debug your codes, right? I think you have been also taught how to debug your codes. So
Yes, sir.
if we have to debug, we have to open a project in code blocks. That is why we are trying to open a project here. So we're going to file new, and we'll get to project. Okay, we'll go to project. We will choose console application from here. Okay, console application. Then we'll click go. Then there's a wizard. We'll click next. We'll choose a language, that's C. Then we're going to choose the project title. Let's name it day 1 for today. And I'll just change the folder to 211. See, this is the folder. Day 1 is the project. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to select a folder that where you're going to create the project and select a project title, and then click next. Make sure these 2 tick marks are there, and then click finish. Okay, so there's a window that we are going to need, which is this one. Manager. Shift F2 is the shortcut key. If you press that, we will have this window where we will find the source codes, etc. So in the sources folder, main.c is where we will write our codes. Okay. Are you with me till now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is our code, and this is a basic hello world code. So what you're going to do, we are going to delete it, and we will write our codes here. Okay. So let's just review something. Let me write some codes, and I'll ask you some questions from there. Let the code is I, J. So we have declared 3 integers here. If you want to take in, if you want to take input, if you want to input these 3 numbers, what we are going to do?
স্যার যদি ইউজারের কাছ থেকে নিতে চাই তাহলে স্ক্যানফ ইউজ করব, আর যদি সরাসরি দিতে চাই তাহলে হচ্ছে স্যার ভেরিয়েবলটা দিয়ে তার মানটা বসিয়ে দিব।
I equals to the input আর কি সেটা দাও।
Acha, let me tell you something. Whenever I'm talking about input, that must be user input, because our users are mostly regular people, right? Our users are mostly regular people who don't know anything about programming. So we are going to provide them with the executable file. Shall we give them this code? I don't think so, because they want to do things without any hassle. And if they see your code, they immediately think this is a hassle, so they are going to blame you. So we are not giving them this code. And so when we are talking input, we are always talking about user inputs, right? So
in that case,
if we are going to take input from them, we are going to use scanf. So when we are writing scanf, we can use 3 scanfs. We can use 3 calls of scanfs for each of the variables, or we can use 1 scanf to input all 3 variables, right?
Yes, sir.
So what we are going to do, we are going to scanf %d. Since there are 3 variables, I'm using 1 scanf only. So we are going to use %d, %d, %d. There are 3 %ds, and after the double quote, we are putting comma, and then we are writing and I, and j, and k. So we are taking these numbers as input. Now, let me know one thing. What do we mean by %d?
Sir,
integer value.
Identifier.
Okay. So %d means we are taking integer input, right?
Integer value. Yes, sir.
Yes, we are taking integer value as input. So if you are not inputting any integer value, what are we going to do?
sir, we will change
We have to remove the D.
পার্সেন্ট ডিটা চেঞ্জ করে দেবো ওটা অনুযায়ী।
স্যার যদি
I'm trying to
ইন্টিজারের
input a real number. So I'm trying to input a real number. Then what? Shall we write percent D as well?
Yes, sir.
স্যার
ইয়েস
আচ্ছা
স্যার।
সেক্ষেত্রে স্যার আমাদেরকে এখানে এফ ইউজ করতে হবে এফ
Percent F. Okay. So if you're taking any real number as input, we are going to use percent F, or I think the recommended one is percent LF, because
LF.
long float.
if we are trying to input a real number where fraction is allowed, we can use float, but it is better to use double. Right? We can use float, but it is better to use double because double gives us more precision. Okay. So it is recommended that we use double. So if you write double D and try to input this D variable as well, I am using a different scanf here, but you can also input it in the same scanf as well. So scanf percent LF and okay. So this is how we take input numbers. Do you know how we input strings?
Percent S, sir.
Percent S, sir.
Okay, percent S. Do you know how a string is represented?
In double quotation.
স্যার ইট
Sorry, not a
Sir,
string,
it is-
a variable. How a string
It is-
variable is declared?
স্যার আই থিঙ্ক এটা স্যার
CH
ইনফ্যাক্ট ক্যারেক্টার অ্যারে হিসাবে স্যার ক্যারেক্টার অ্যারে
Exactly. Strings are inputted as a character array. Did you learn about this in ICS?
নো স্যার
Okay.
No, sir.
Then we are not going to cover this. We'll get back to this because in this SPL course we have a dedicated topic named string. So there we will discuss details about this. But like one of you said that that a character array is used for a string. So what is a character? What is a character variable? Do you know that?
স্যার আই থিঙ্ক যেটা হচ্ছে ASCII কোডের মধ্যে আছে।
Something that is in the ASCII code. That is, a character array can hold only one character, right? A character array can hold only one symbol. That symbol can be anything. That can be an alphabetic symbol. That can be a numeric symbol. That can be some special characters like exclamation sign, question marks, hash, slash, stars, ampersand, percent, etc. So everything that can be written can be held in a character variable, but only one of them is allowed. Only one. You cannot put more than one character in a variable. If you want more than one character, then we need an array. That is a concept we'll discuss later. Okay. So let's now limit ourselves to integer and double variables. We have taken these variables as input. So now we will try to print. We'll try to output the sum of these numbers, and also we will output this number. So what is the function we use for outputting?
Printf.
The function is
Printf.
printf. Okay, the function is printf. So printf percent d. I think we will put a new line here, \n. That is the new line. And after the double quote, we will write comma. Then we will write sum. So what is sum?
I plus J plus K.
Okay.
Addition.
Okay. Is there any line that says sum is I plus j plus k?
No, sir.
No, sir.
declared some.
Sir,
So what
declare
we
kori
have
nai,
to do-
sir. Sum declare kori nai.
Exactly. This variable is not declared. This variable does not have I plus j plus k. So what you have to do, we will have to first declare this variable. Since we are summing all the integers, so the sum variable is also integer. And then we will have to write a code right here that sum is equal I plus j plus j.
Yes, sir.
We will have to write it down, and then we are going to printf. This is the sum. say we can extend it by writing the sum is percent b new line, which is sum, and then we will write this fraction. So we will printf fraction. Let's try something. What we're going to do is we will try to write down the fraction up to its 2 decimal points. Up to 2 digits after, we will write 2 digits after decimal. So how can we achieve that?
Percent to
Percent
Point
to
2LF.
So a simple percent LF will not work. What we have to do, we will have to write a percent dot 2LF to make sure that there are 2 digits after the dot, right? There are 2 digits after the
right, sir.
dot.
স্যার যদি স্যার পয়েন্ট টুটা না দিই সেক্ষেত্রে কয়টা ডিজিট হয় যদি ডাবলের ক্ষেত্রে?
Usually there are 6 digits. There are 6.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Usually there are 6 digits, but if you specify, then it will be specified. If you can write percent dot 8LF, then there are 8 digits. Okay. So usually we are not concerned about how many digits there is in the output. Say we are usually concerned that there should be the less is I think less is more. That there are only 2 digits, I guess, enough. So the fraction is, I can write this. Okay. So now if I try to run it, how do we run this program?
Sir,
Build and run.
Yes, sir.
There is a command build and run.
FN
With the build menu, there is this command build and run. The shortcut key is F9, or you can also find this icon here, right? So you can click here or press F9, whatever you like. You can do this, and then you'll find this. This is a black screen. It's not currently saying me anything. Just it is waiting for me to input. So let's input here the integers, say 5, 6, 9. These are the integers. I press enter. It's still waiting for a 4th input, which is the fraction. So I write the fraction in 2.565. This is the fraction I input. So then I press enter, and there we go, the output. The sum is 20, the fraction is 0. Now the question is, why is the fraction 0? Can anyone tell me? Why is the fraction 0?
আমরা কিছু ডিক্লেয়ার করিনি
স্যার
কিছু পিছে আউটপুট দেখাবে এটা তো বলে দেই
That was my mistake. That was my mistake. There's a percent dot 2LF here, but I am not corresponding any variable with it. So I'll have to write D. Okay. After the double quote, I'll put a comma and then write down D. So this is the final code. If we can run it now, like the previous 5, 6, 8 are the numbers, and 2.565 is the double number, the double precision number, the real number. So now when we press enter, the sum is 19 and the fraction is 2.56. Okay, so one thing is clear. If we try to find the 2 digits after the decimal, the 2 digits after the decimal point, it will not give me an approximate value, right? It's not going to give me an approximate value. You can see the fraction is 2.56. What will be the approximate value up to 2 decimal points of this fraction? Approximate value. আসন্ন মান হবে 2.57, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes sir
1 plus
2.57
It will be 2.57, but here it's not 2.57, it's merely 2.56. So it just removes the other decimal points to give you the output. Okay. Okay then, so this is our code. Now we will give you the first problem of today, I think. I'll give you 15 minutes. It's 3:16 right now, so you'll get time till 3:30 or 3:32, whatever. You'll get time till that for the problem. Okay. problem 1. So the problem 1 is CSE program to calculate distance covered by a moving body using the following formula. What the formula is? The formula is equal ut plus half at square. Okay, this is a pretty simple problem, I think, right? Let me stop sharing and share only this screen, only this slide with you. Okay, can you see the slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the slide is visible. So you try this problem. The time is 15 minutes. You can take more time, but you can take more time. I mean, the assignment does not have any deadline, right? There is no deadline to that assignment. So you can take as much time as you like, but try to finish it within 15 minutes, because after that, we will start our next discussion and you might want to follow the class. Okay, so try to finish it within 15 minutes. It's not 3:18, finish by 3:35. Okay, finish by 3:35.
Sir, do we have to submit it in the ELMS?
Yes, you have to submit it.
Okay, sir.
It's not for large scale evaluation per se. It's for understanding your current situation. Okay, it's for understanding how you're performing, how much you know, how much you learned in the previous course, like that, or how much you're progressing. Okay, and I'll provide feedback. If you submit the code, I will provide you with the feedback. Okay.
স্যার 15 মিনিটসের মধ্যেই সাবমিট করতে হবে, তাই না?
15 মিনিটের মধ্যে সাবমিট করলে তারপর আপনি হচ্ছে ক্লাসটা ফলো করতে পারবেন। যদি আপনি বেশি সময় নেন, নিয়ে হলেও আপনি সাবমিট করেন, অ্যাটলিস্ট চেষ্টা করেন, ঠিক আছে? আমি বলবো আমার ক্লাসে, মানে এই ক্লাসে আমি যত প্র্যাকটিস প্রবলেম করাবো আপনার কাছ থেকে, যে আমি যে মানে ইয়াগুলো নিচ্ছি, আপনাকে বলছি যে কোড করে সাবমিট করতে হবে, এটা বলার উদ্দেশ্য হচ্ছে একটাই, যাতে আপনি কাজগুলো করেন, করে প্রয়োজনে ভুলগুলা ইয়াদ করে নেন, ভুলগুলা নিজে ঠিকঠাক করে নেন, ঠিক আছে? I think we all know the importance of programming here, right? We know the importance of programming in computer science. কম্পিউটার সায়েন্সে প্রোগ্রামিং এর গুরুত্ব আমরা সবাই বুঝি। প্রোগ্রামিং যত পারি আমরা প্র্যাকটিস করব, এবং যত পারি নিজেদের ভুলগুলোকে দূর করে যতটা দ্রুত সম্ভব আমরা প্রোগ্রাম করার চেষ্টা করব। ওকে, সেটার জন্য বেসিক্যালি আমি এতগুলো স্টেপ নিচ্ছি, আর কিছু না।
Hello, sir.
বলেন।
Sir, I just had a power outage in my area. I can't write program on my PC now. What can I do?
Okay. Okay. Then you can submit later after the class, right?
Okay, sir.
স্যার কমপ্লিট হয়ে গেছে, কোথায় সাবমিট করব?
এলএমএস এ গিয়ে দেখেন সেখানে একটা অ্যাসাইনমেন্ট আছে প্র্যাকটিস প্রবলেম 1 নামে, ওখানে আছে, ওখানে সাবমিট করেন। সাবমিট করার সময় একটু খেয়াল রাখবেন শুধুমাত্র আপনার প্রজেক্টের মধ্যে যে সি ফাইলটা আছে, ডট সি যে ফাইলটা, সেটা সাবমিট করবেন।
জি স্যার, সাবমিট হয়ে গেছে।
ওকে,
স্যার ফিডব্যাক কি আপনি এখনই দিবেন?
আমি নেক্সট প্র্যাকটিস প্রবলেম যখন দিব ওই সময় আমি হচ্ছে ফিডব্যাক দিয়ে দিব সবাইকে।
Sir, I have also submitted.
Okay.
স্যার
Hello. Yeah, please.
ইএলএমএস এ না সাবমিট করে এই চ্যাটে সাবমিট করে দিলে কি হবে?
Don't do that.
সো লাইক স্যার ক্লাসের পরে কি সময় আছে নাকি এখনই আপলোড করতে হবে?
মানে ক্লাসের পরেও সময় আছে আসলে, মানে অ্যাসাইনমেন্টের কোনো ডেডলাইন নাই, কিন্তু যত তাড়াতাড়ি সাবমিট করতে পারেন তত আমি আপনার প্রোগ্রেসটা বেটার বুঝতে পারবো আর কি।
স্যার আই এম ডান অ্যাকচুয়ালি, বাট লাইক আমার পাওয়ার কাট সো আপলোড করতে পারতেছি না।
তাহলে আপলোড করে দিয়ে নেন।
ওকে স্যার।
আচ্ছা, okay, then let's go to our next topic, I think. So we are using the operators here. So what are the operators we can also use? We are using plus, we can use minus, we can use multiply, we can use divide. Let me ask you something pretty trivial. Say you have a variable named x, and I'm writing x equal 5 plus 6 times 2. And I go printf % new line and x. But tell me something, what will be the output of this code?
17.
Sir, 30.
17, sir.
17, sir.
17.
13, someone says 17. Okay. Okay, 13 is not possible here. 13 is not possible here. Something you might have said is 22. Because 5 plus 6 is 11 and 11 times 2 is 22. But that's not what we expect here, right? If you write this in a slide, if you write this expression, say in the slide, we can write it like this: 5 plus 6 times 12. Yeah, 6 times 2. Okay. So from this expression, we can see the result is always 12 plus 5, that is 17. Right? Fortunately for us, C program behaves that way as well. C program actually knows which operator to evaluate first and which operator to evaluate last. So this is something we're going to use here. This is something we don't have to worry about. This will always result in 17, and if we run this code, I think we will have this verify as well. You can see the output is 17. Okay, so keeping that in mind, what is the so whichever operator to run first is called the operator precedence, right?
Sir, can you
the order of the operators is also known as the operator precedence. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
কোনটার কাজ পরে হবে সেটাকে আমরা বলছি operator precedence. So which mathematical operator has the highest precedence, which is
sir, multiply?
Multiplication, sir.
the first one is
Multiplication.
I think they have a rule of BODMAS. So divide comes first, right?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. First
The
divide,
fact
then
is,
multiple, then plus. Yeah.
the fact is the operator with the highest precision is multiplication and division both. They have the same precedence, and this is the higher precedence. Multiplication and divisions are always evaluated first. Okay, and addition and subtraction are evaluated last. These two also have the same precedence, but the precedence is lower than multiplication and division. Okay, and how do we achieve, and how does that work? For that to work, we have to assume another thing, which is the operator associativity. Say I am writing here x equals 6 plus 7 minus 3. What will be the result?
10.
The result will be 10, right? 10. And how are we calculating that?
First multiplication, then sum.
First addition, then subtraction.
That's the multiplication.
First addition, then
Addition,
subtraction.
then
Okay, here's the thing. C program evaluates it like this.
It's to right to left.
We can do it in a variety of ways. We can calculate 6 minus 3 first, then add it with 7. We can write 7 minus 3. That is, we can find out 7 minus 3, 4, then add it with 6. We can do anything, but what a computer does, he will first calculate this. Computer will first calculate 6 plus 7, and then when it gets 13, it will subtract 3 from 13. Then you will get 10. Okay, so what is happening here is that these operators are left associative. That is, the leftmost operator of the same precedence will be evaluated first. Okay, same goes for division and multiplication. Let's try this. 15 divide 5 times 3. What's the result?
9.
9, sir. 9.
15 by 5 times 3. Why not 1?
Sorry, sir.
Why not 1?
Because it's
left,
associativity হচ্ছে কি left to right.
The associativity is left to right, right? So this division operator will be evaluated first. 15 by 5 comes 3. Then 3 times 3 equals 9.
9. Yes, sir.
This is the way this will be calculated. Okay, so we have understood the precedence and the associativity, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have another operator. We have another arithmetic operator to explore, which is the remainder operator or the mod operator, right?
Yes, sir.
No, that say 7 mod 2. The operator looks like percentage, but this is not the percentage operator. As a matter of fact, there is no percentage in C programming. Okay, so this operator means the mod, that is the remainder of 7 and 2. So what is the result here? 7 mod 2?
1.
7 is 1, because when you divide 7 by 2, when you divide 7 by 2, the quotient is 3 and the
3 into
remainder
2 is 1.
Okay, so this is the mod operator. This is also important. Particularly, we usually don't use this in our arithmetic operations. Not usually, but most of the cases we use that to make decisions. Say, let's now review the decision part. That is the if-else part, right? Say, we'll have to write a program. This is the problem. You have to write a C program to find out if a given integer is even or odd. How do you find out that?
স্যার 2 দিয়ে মোড করব, যদি আউটপুট 1 আসে তাহলে হচ্ছে অড, আর আউটপুট 0 আসলে ইভেন।
এটা তাহলে এরকম একটা কাজ। তাহলে এটার জন্য আমরা কি করব? We are going to use if-else for that, right? We are going to use if-else to find out this result. Okay, so what we are going to do, first of all, this given integer should be from user, right? This given integer should come from the user, so we are going to take a user input, and that's where scanf comes to us. Scanf versus b and x. We are inputting x, and then we're getting to if x mod 2 equal 0. Note the sign here. If mod 2 equals 0, the sign is 2 equal signs together. Why is that?
It's equality.
What about 1 equal sign?
Both sides are equal.
That's assigned, sir. It's assigned.
When we are writing 1 equal operator, it is working as the assignment operator. It's like this we are putting a variable sum equal x plus y. Here, what we're doing, we're adding the values of x and y and putting it in the sum variable. Right. So this is the assignment here. It will always assign the right expression to the left variable. Okay. But this is not assignment. This is condition checking. So what will happen here? We will have to put two equal signs here so that it can compare x mod 2 and 0. Right? So you can compare x mod 2 and 0. If after comparison, if it finds out that this one is equal 0, what does that mean?
It's even.
Other one is equal 1.
It will be even, so we should
It
do
means
that.
it's an even number.
When x mod 2 is 0, it means the number x is even.
Even.
Okay. So, because when you divide something by 2 and it gives you a remainder of 0, which means the number is divisible by 2, which is in turn an even number. Okay. So, if x mod 2 equals 0, we will write down printf the number is even. Right? X mod 2 equals 0, then the number is even. Now to check odd, do we have to write the same condition again? If x mod
No,
2
sir. No, sir.
equals, do we have to write that down?
No, sir.
No. No, sir.
We can simply use else.
We should use else printf the number is odd.
Yes, we're going to write else and then printf
The number is odd.
is odd. So this is how we are using conditions if, right? So if means this condition is true. Remember, sometimes I've seen this in the theory courses. In the lab course, I think you will find out that there's a compilation error here. I have seen in the theory courses that some people like to write this, else x mod 2 not equal 0. Some people love to write this down, but this is an error. But this will always cause an error. If we build and run, we will find an error right here. What's the error?
স্যার এলস এর মধ্যে কোনো কন্ডিশন আসে না।
এলস এর মধ্যে কোনো কন্ডিশন নাই জি স্যার।
Let's check out the error message first. There is something expected semicolon before first bracket token. Okay, so it is actually thinking that this is an expression after else, and then I'll have to write down a semicolon so that I can write this. But the error is not that way. As you can see, there is no condition after, there should be no condition after else. Why? Because else is itself a condition. Okay, else is by itself a condition. Else is by itself a condition. Which condition is this? Else says all the previous conditions are false. Okay, else tells me that all the previous conditions are false. After, so this only executes when the previous conditions are false, then you write this down. Okay, so you don't need to write any condition after else. And if you have to write some condition after else, please write else if. Okay, if you must, I think you're kind of like you're obsessed with writing some conditions after else, then please put an if before it. Okay, so this is how we can do this. Say 7 is the input, then the number is odd. Okay, let's remove this else if from here, because if x mod 2 is not equal 0, it must be odd. So we don't need to write this condition. So now if the input is 8, it is even, and if the number is 9, it's odd. Okay. So let's now get inside. Let's now try another condition. Let's now try another problem. This time we're trying to check out if a number is in some given interval. Okay. Say the problem is like this. Some intervals are given. Interval 1 is 0 less than equal 0 less than equal x less than equal 5. Interval 2 is 5 is less than x less than equal 8. Interval 3 is 8 less than x less than 7. Interval 4 is 11 less than equal x less than 15. Okay, that will suffice for now. Okay, the problem is you'll have to take you'll have to take an input x as usual, and you'll have to find out whether this number is in one of these intervals. Okay, did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Find out if this number is in any of these intervals, and you'll have to output accordingly. If the number is in this interval, you'll write interval 1. If the number is in this interval, then you'll write interval 2. Okay, and so on. And if the number is in none of the intervals, what will you write?
Sir, invalid input or
I don't think invalid is the case here. You can write not in any interval. Okay, you'll have to write not in any interval. Okay, so how do you write this code now? How do you write this code?
Sir,
Of course, you will have to use a chain of if else's.
Yes, sir.
You will have to use a chain of if else's, and we will also review the conditional operators that we're going to use. First of all, the variable declaration is there, the scanf is also there, so we'll start with if. Now here it is, we cannot write if 0 is less than equal x less than equal 5. You cannot do this. Can you tell me why?
স্যার এটা সিতে কোনো ভ্যালিড সিনট্যাক্স না।
This is not a valid syntax. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
This is not a valid syntax. Let's compile it. Let's have it compiled or built. I'm giving a build is generating a warning, but it's not giving me any error. So this is valid.
Oh, sir.
Then what's the problem? You can see the problem from here. Look at this warning. Comparisons like x less than equal y less than equal z do not have their mathematical meaning.
Yes, sir. If not a condition. We have to
press conditional operators like or and.
Yeah, this is actually a problem. Let me go a little deeper into this. Say these operators are evaluated left to right as usual. Do we know what a condition returns? Do we know the value of a condition? Say
yes
this
or
is
no.
What will it return? What will the result from this?
Sir, either 0 or 1.
Exactly.
True or false, sir.
Exactly. Based on the truth value of the condition, it will be either 0 or 1. If the condition is false, then it will return 0. If the condition is true, then it will give us 1. Okay. So what happens here? This is the first operator. So this one is first evaluated. So say the input number is 3. Say the input number is 8, right? Say the input number is 8. So if we consider this only, 0 is less than equal 8. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course, 0 is less than or equal 8, right? So this one is true. So this one gives us the result 1. This is the problem of this. And this is the problem of this sort of writing. Now look at this. The condition has become 1 is less than or equal 5. So it will always give true, right? Since 1 is less than or equal 5, it will also return true. But what the condition says, the mathematical condition says 8 is between 0 and 5. Is that true? Is 8 between 0 and 5?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
So this is the problem while evaluating this. So this is why we cannot use this. We can use, just like you said, we will have to use 2 separate conditions and connect them using a conditional operator. So what will happen here? The number must be greater than 0, greater than or equal 0. X is greater than or equal 0. Number must be greater than or equal 0, right? And it should also be less than or equal 5. So we will write and x less than equal 5.
Sir,
Sir,
I know your question. And is not the operator. I'm just writing and, but we will replace this and with our actual operator, which is double and.
Double and.
Okay. So this is the final condition for this interval. 0 less than equal x less than equal 5. So if this is true, we will write down we will print interval 1. Okay. We will write down interval 1, and likewise we are also going to write down the next intervals. Say the second interval, else if. Why are we writing else if here?
Because we have to write a condition.
Other condition?
We have to get to some other conditions, but why do we have to write else here?
That's a statement. Else if.
Do we have to write else here?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
Very clear.
So it's actually indicating alternative.
ওকে, এটাও আমি একটু হালকা ব্যাখ্যা করে দেব। তবে এখানে বলে দিচ্ছি স্পেসিফিক এই প্রবলেমটাতে এলস ইফ না দিলেও চলবে, কিন্তু না দিলে কি হবে সেটা আমি দেখাচ্ছি। Let's get to the second interval. 5 less than x less than equal 8. So x must be greater than 5 and must be less than equal 8. That gives us interval 2. Then if x is greater than 8 and this one is 8, between 8 and 11 exclusive. So 8 x 11 x less than 11. Printf interval 3. Then comes 11 to 15. So if x is greater than 11 and greater than or equal 11 and x is less than 15, then we will have printf interval 4. Okay. Now this will work, right? This will work for any input between 0 and 14. This will work for any input between 0 and 14. But we have to take a look at this. If we start debugging it, let's say, yeah, let's take into it. Yeah, that one. There is an error. Okay, my debugger is not working, so I cannot show you that right now. I can show you the debugging right now, but take a look at this. All these ifs are individual, right?
Yes, sir.
All these ifs are individual. All these statements are individual ifs, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happens here, if you input 1, say you have input 1, it will be in interval 1, right?
Yes, sir.
But still these ifs are individuals, the code will continue comparing 1 with these intervals as well. Okay. But if we write else, if you write else if, say again you have input 1. This interval has fulfilled. I mean, this one is true, right?
Yes.
Then it will not compare with any of this again. Because it knows if this is true, the others must be false.
False.
Okay. So this is why the remainings will not be evaluated. It will directly come to this line, line 30. Okay. So this is how we are kind of saving some time or saving some computations. Now we did say that we'll have to write another message if the number is in neither of these intervals, right? We'll have to write a message. So let's write down this message in else. As we said a little while ago, else means all the previous conditions are false, right? Else মানে আগে যত condition ছিল তার সবগুলো ভুল. So in else we will write this. Printf
There is no interval.
not in any given interval. Okay. So this is the case right now. Not in any given interval. So if we run it, we will find out. Can anyone tell me what should be the output if input is 15? আমি যদি 15 input দিই output কত আসবে?
Invalid.
Else.
Not in any interval.
Not in any
Not
interval.
given any interval.
Why not interval 4?
Sir, because
it says
It's
input
below
should be
15.
less than 15.
less than 15.
Below 15.
Exactly. The last 15, x less than 15, we have less than, not equal. So the only valid values in any of the interval are from 0 to 14.
14.
0 to 14 are the valid inputs. All the others are outside any interval. Okay, so if we input 15, it will give us not in any given interval. Okay. All right then. So this is a chain of ifs. Okay. This is the chain of ifs. Now I'm going to show you another problem. Let's show you another problem. The problem is like this. Step 1 is input a number. Next, find out if the number is even or odd. If even, also find out if the number is between 5 and 15. And if odd, find out if the number is negative. Okay, so we have had this very basic problem of finding out if a given number is even or odd, and we have extended it. And how did we extend? We have given some additional condition that if the number is even, we'll also have to find out if the number is between 5 and 15. And if the number is odd, we will also have to find out if the number is negative. Okay. So how can we solve this?
We have to use nested condition.
Yes, we'll have to use conditions inside conditions, right? We'll have to use conditions inside conditions. So what is the problem? So how do we solve this? First of all, we will have to find out if the number is even or odd, right? We must find that out. If what is the even condition?
স্যার 2 দিয়ে মোড করব
X percent 2 is equal to 0.
Yes, x mod 2 equal even condition. Okay, so if it is 0, then printf
even.
And then we will have to go to another condition. We will write another condition inside. If x is greater than or equal 5 and less than equal 15.
স্যার আমরা কি চাইলে এভাবে লিখতে পারতাম যে x is greater than 4 and less than 16 মানে ইকুয়াল টু দিয়ে?
হ্যাঁ, এটাও লেখা যাবে। আপনার কাজ হওয়া দিয়ে কথা। ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, let's extend this problem a little bit more. If or, also find out if the number is negative or larger than 100. Okay. If odd, also find out if the number is negative or larger than 100. Okay, extended this line a little bit. So getting back, we are in the even condition. So the number is even, we print even, and then we further check if the number is between 5 and 15. So this one is true, we write down printf in the interval. Okay, we write down in the interval. Now what comes to the else? So this else means what? This else means
odd number,
not 0. X mod 2 is not 0. That is, x is definitely an odd number here. So in this else, we will write down printf.
স্যার একটা কোশ্চেন ছিল স্যার, প্রথম ইফে যখন ঢুকবে তখন ওটা যখন ট্রু পাবে তখন সেকেন্ড ইফে ঢুকবে। সেকেন্ড ইফে যদি ওইটাকে ট্রু না পায় সেই ক্ষেত্রে স্যার কোথায় যাবে?
If the second is true, it will not do anything. It will just get out of this if and then get to line 27.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So next up, we have printed odd, and then we will have to check another if the number is negative or larger than 100. So what do we do here? If what is the negative condition? It is less than
0.
Number is negative. The number is negative, which means x is less than 0, or
0.
X is greater than 100. Okay. So we do not write or here. The representative of or is double pipe. This sign is called the pipe sign, right?
Yes, sir.
So pipe signs makes the logical or. Okay. So if x is less than 0 or x is greater than 100, then it becomes printf condition is
true.
Okay. These are just some random writings that I made up. Okay. So this is how this problem will be solved by using nested ifs. Okay. Any questions from here?
So far clear, sir. No.
Okay, everyone with me? Hopefully
Yes,
everyone
Yes,
is.
sir.
So let's
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
then let's give you another practice problem today. Just give me a little time. Okay, so here's the problem. I think you know the problem. But still, I have given a bit explanation here. So you'll have to find out if a given integer, you have to find out if a given year is a leap year or not. You have to take the input as an integer and then try to find out if the year is a leap year or not. So how do we determine what a leap year is? Usually, if a number is divisible by 4, then it is a leap year. But if a year contains 2 zeros at the end, at least 2 zeros actually, if a number contains at least 2 zeros in the end, we will have to further calculate. We'll have to further divide it by 400. If this year is not divisible by 400, then it is not a leap year. But it is a leap year if it is divisible by 400. For example, 1912 is divisible by 4. There is no problem about it. But 1900 is not a leap year because it has 2 zeros and not divisible by 400.
400.
But year 2000 is a leap year because it has actually 2 zeros, but it can also be divided by 400. Okay? So this is the concept of the leap year. I've given you examples as well. So now your task is to find out if the year is leap year or not. Again, I'm giving you 15 minutes time. So the time now is 4:15. You'll have to finish by 4:30. And you'll have to submit in practice problem 2.
স্যার
বলেন
স্যার আমাদের লাস্ট যে প্রবলেমটা দেওয়া হলো s is equal to ut plus half at স্কয়ার স্যার এইটার সলিউশনটা কি আজকে করে দেওয়া হবে?
আমি সলিউশন না, আমি হচ্ছে আপনি যেটা দিয়েছেন আমি হচ্ছে সেটার ফিডব্যাক দিব।
ওকে
প্রয়োজন মধ্যে আপনি ফার্দার এটা নিয়ে আবার আমাকে মেইল করতে পারেন যে স্যার আমি এই ভুলটা করেছিলাম, এখন আমি এভাবে লিখেছি, ঠিক আছে কিনা। পরে আপনারা মেইল করতে পারেন।
ওকে স্যার ওকে।
Okay. So you have 15 minutes for the next problem. You'll have to submit in practice problem 2. The assignment is now visible in LMS. You can submit there. Okay.
হ্যালো স্যার।
বলেন।
আচ্ছা, এটার উপর কোনো গ্রেড বা নাম্বার কিছু দিবেন, মানে প্রবলেমের
গ্রেড
উপর?
কিন্তু পারফরম্যান্স যাচাই মানে পারফরম্যান্স বিবেচনা করে হচ্ছে এটা একটা
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, ওকে
অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সে যাবে আর কি, অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সে যাবে।
ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
স্যার, হ্যালো স্যার। স্যার আমরা তো শুধু 4 আর 400 দিয়ে মানে চেক করে দেখবো ইফিলস দিয়ে না স্যার?
সেটা এখন আপনি বের করার চেষ্টা করেন।
ওকে স্যার।
এসে কিছু লাগবে না। ওকে, আশা করি আপনাদের হয়েছে।
জি স্যার।
Hopefully you are done.
স্যার
তো আমি হচ্ছে আজকের লাস্ট আরেকটা প্রবলেম দিয়ে আজকের ক্লাসটা শেষ করি। এটাও রিভিউ প্রবলেম এবং এটা মানে হোপফুলি আপনাদের পারার কথা। তো জাস্ট আমি প্রবলেমটা আপনাদেরকে দিয়ে দিচ্ছি।
স্যার এটাও কি এখনই সাবমিট করতে হবে?
হ্যাঁ, এই প্রবলেমগুলো আপনাদের প্র্যাকটিসের। আপনি যদি সাবমিট না করেন হয়তো আপনার অ্যাটেন্ডেন্সের মার্ক একটু কমে যেতে পারে, বাট অ্যাট দ্য এন্ড অফ দ্য ডে আপনার সাবমিট করা উচিত। এই কারণে
এটা কি মানে আপনি যেই 15 মিনিট টাইম দেন এর মধ্যে সাবমিট করলে মার্ক কাটবেন নাকি হচ্ছে মানে দেরিতে সাবমিট করলেও কিছু না?
কোনো সমস্যা নেই, কিন্তু আমাকে বুঝতে হবে আপনি আসলে কতটুকু করছেন।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, না মানে যেটা হয় কি স্যার যে আপনি যখন 15 মিনিট টাইম দিচ্ছেন
আপনি দ্রুত সাবমিট করলে আপনার জন্য ভালো।
না স্যার, যেটা হয় যে আপনি যখন 15 মিনিটের টাইম দিচ্ছেন আমি তখন একটু প্রেশার নিয়ে করতেছি আর কি। তো অনেক সময় হয় যে প্রেশারে ভালো আউটকাম আসে না, এই জিনিসটা আমি জিজ্ঞেস করছিলাম।
15 মিনিট টাইম কিন্তু মানে যা যা প্রবলেম দিচ্ছি এগুলোর জন্য 15 মিনিট যথেষ্ট। মানে মূল আমাদের যে বিষয়টা সেটা হচ্ছে আমি একটা পারফরমেন্স একটু করতে যাচ্ছি, রিভিউ করতে যাচ্ছি। কারণ দেখা যায় কি এখন স্পেশালি যেহেতু এটা অনলাইন ক্লাস, তো দেখা যায় আমি ঘুরে ঘুরে আপনার টেবিলে গিয়ে আপনার কোড দেখতে কিন্তু পাচ্ছি না। ঠিক আছে, যেটা আমি থিওরি ক্লাস, যেটা আমি যদি সরাসরি ল্যাব হতো তাহলে আমি সেটা করতে পারতাম, যে ঘুরে ঘুরে আপনাদের টেবিলে টেবিলে গেলাম, তারপর দেখলাম যে আপনাদের এই ঝামেলাগুলো হচ্ছে ঠিক করে দিতে পারছি। এখানে যেহেতু আমি সেটা করতে পারছি না, সেজন্য হচ্ছে আমার এটা অল্টারনেট একটা মেজার। ঠিক আছে, আপনার কোডটা আপনি করে সাবমিট করেন। এটা আমি বলে দিই, যদি আপনার কোডের কম্পাইল এরর থাকে তাহলেও সাবমিট করেন। ঠিক আছে, কম্পাইল এরর থাকলে তাহলেও সাবমিট করেন, আমি আপনাকে দেখাই দিতে এই এরর গুলো হচ্ছে। ঠিক আছে, ওরা কোনো মার্কস দিচ্ছে না।
স্যার হঠাৎ নেট স্লো হয়ে যায় তখন তো স্যার নেট হঠাৎ হঠাৎ স্লো হয়ে যায়।
আমি বলি এই মানে এই সাবমিশনটা রিল্যাক্স সাবমিশন। যদি আপনার নেট স্লো হয়ে যায় আপনি আরেকটু পরে ট্রাই করেন, সমস্যা নেই। কারণ এগুলার কিন্তু কোনো ডেডলাইনও
জি
দেওয়া
স্যার,
নেই।
এই জন্যই লেট সাবমিশন।
স্পেসিফিক অ্যাসাইনমেন্টগুলোর কোনো ডেডলাইনও দেওয়া নেই। প্র্যাকটিস প্রবলেমগুলো কোনো ডেডলাইন এখানে দেওয়া নেই। তো আপনি আপনার মতন করেই সাবমিট করেন আরামসে, সমস্যা নেই। ঠিক আছে, আপনি আপনার মতো করেই সাবমিট করেন। ওকে
Sir, I'm done, but my LMS is not opening. So, sir, ক্লাসের পরে দিয়ে দিলে হবে?
ঠিক আছে, দিয়ে
জি স্যার, এটা আমার সাথে হয়েছিল।
ঠিক আছে, তাহলে পরেই দিন, সমস্যা নেই। আমি তাহলে প্রবলেমটা আবার শেয়ার করি আপনাদের সাথে। এই প্রবলেমটা মোটামুটি আপনাদের পরিচিত হওয়ার কথা। প্রবলেমটা হচ্ছে, the problem is you'll have to take as input a number and you'll have to find out the letter grade from that number, right? The number must be between 0 and 100. If it is between 0 and 100, then 90 to 100 means A, 86 to 89 means A minus, and so on. You know your grading scheme, right? So you'll have to find out the grade of the input number. Okay. So this will take the remainder of your time. So please try to submit within 5 p.m. Okay. And after that, our class will end. Okay.
ওকে স্যার।
ওকে,
তাহলে কি স্যার সাবমিট করেই ক্লাসকে লিভ নিব?
লিভ করতে পারেন। হ্যাঁ, সাবমিট করে
জানিয়ে আপনি থাকবেন তো স্যার? তাহলে মনে করেন আপনার থেকে জানিয়ে যাবো।
আমি আছি। ওকে।
হ্যালো স্যার, অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স কি নিয়েছেন?
অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স অটো নেওয়া হচ্ছে, আপনার প্রত্যেকটা গতিবিধি রেকর্ড হচ্ছে এখানে। ঠিক আছে, কখন আসছেন কখন যাচ্ছেন সবই আসছে।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা।
বুঝলাম না। লিভ করতে পারেন।
স্যার একটা কোশ্চেন ছিল।
বলেন।
স্যার আমরা প্রজেক্ট বিল করার পরে এটার মধ্যে তো স্যার নতুন আর একটা যদি পেজ তৈরি করে যেখানে নতুন কোডটা লিখতে যাবো, এটা কিভাবে করবো?
ইউ ট্রাইং টু মানে একই সি মানে একই প্রজেক্টের ভিতর আপনি আরেকটা সি ফাইল দিতে যাচ্ছেন?
হ্যাঁ, মানে যেহেতু আপনি আজকে যে আমাদের 3টা প্রবলেম সেট দিলেন, মানে 3টা প্রবলেম সলভ করতে দিলেন, তো আমি তো একই প্রজেক্টের মধ্যে 3টা প্রবলেম সলভ করতে পারবো না আনলেস ওই একটা পেজে যদি সবগুলা করি।
I think you can create a new C file, but you'll have to make sure that there is only one main function in the whole project.
বুঝতে পেরেছি
You have
স্যার।
to be careful about this. So my suggestion is create separate projects for separate problems.
স্যার যদি প্রজেক্ট ক্রিয়েট না করে সরাসরি মানে জাস্ট স্টার্টে নিয়ে পেস্ট করে করি, সেক্ষেত্রে কি কোনো সমস্যা স্যার?
সমস্যা বলতে কি, আপনার দেখা যাবে যে আগের কোড মুছে নতুন করে লিখতে হবে, অথবা আগের কোড কমেন্ট আউট করে নতুন করে লিখতে হবে, এই বিষয়গুলো থেকে যায়।
জি স্যার, এটাই শুধু সমস্যা। ওকে স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ।
স্যার
ইয়া
স্যার আমি আমার পিসি রিস্টার্ট করার পরেও আমি প্র্যাকটিস প্রবলেম গুলো ওপেন করতে পারছি না।
আপনার ইন্টারনেটে কোনো সমস্যা হয়তো বা। আমার পার্সোনালি এরকম একটা সমস্যা রিসেন্টলি হচ্ছে। আপনার কি এলএমএস লোডই হচ্ছে না একেবারে?
স্যার এলএমএস ওপেন হচ্ছে কিন্তু এলএমএস এর ভিতরের ফাইলগুলো ওপেন হচ্ছে না।
দ্যাটস অড। যেটা আমি বলতে পারছি না। আপনি আইটির সাথে যোগাযোগ করতে পারেন, অথবা আপনার ইন্টারনেটের সমস্যাও হয়ে থাকতে পারে, আমি শিওর না।
ওকে স্যার।
ওকে।
স্যার জমা দিয়ে দিছি। হ্যালো স্যার।
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে, যারা জমা দিয়েছেন লিভ করতে পারেন।
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। এত সালাম দিয়ে যাওয়ার দরকার নাই, কারণ আপনি সালাম দিলে আমাকে উত্তর দিতে হয়। ঠিক আছে, দরকার নেই, চলে গেলে নিঃশব্দ চলে যান।
স্যার আমার একটা কোশ্চেন ছিল। হ্যালো স্যার। স্যার কোড বক্সে স্যার আমি কোড করছি, ফাইল ক্রিয়েট করে আমার প্রজেক্ট ওপেন করলে স্যার এরর দেখায়। স্যার এটার প্রবলেমটা কিভাবে সলভ করব?
আচ্ছা, আপনি প্রজেক্ট ক্রিয়েট করে একটা মানে প্রজেক্ট ক্রিয়েট করে কি এরর হয় সেটা একটু আমাকে মেইল করে দিয়ে আমি দেখে আপনাকে জানাবো।
ওকে স্যার।
স্যার স্যার একটা স্যার একটু ইস্যু স্যার। স্যার স্যার আচ্ছা স্যার কেউ স্যার যদি স্যার ইনফ্যাক্ট নাম্বার পাই 86.5, আমরা স্যার তাকে স্যার অ্যাকচুয়ালি কোন গ্রেডে এখানে ফেলবো?
86.5 না, অ্যাকচুয়ালি 85.5 আপনার কনসার্ন, কারণ 86.5 মানে তো এ মাইনাস। কিন্তু 85.5 পেলেও তাকে আপনি বি প্লাস ধরবেন, কারণ 86 আসলে পাইনি।
ওকে স্যার, ওকে।
হ্যালো স্যার, প্রজেক্ট ক্রিয়েট করাটা আরেকবার দেখাবেন? আমার হচ্ছে যে ইরোরটা সেটা হচ্ছে যে কান্ট ক্রিয়েট আউটপুট ডিরেক্টরি বিন ডিবাগ, এটা দেখাচ্ছে স্যার।
মানে প্রজেক্ট তৈরি করতে গেলেই সমস্যাটা হচ্ছে।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ স্যার, প্রজেক্ট ফাইল যদি ওপেন ক্রিয়েট করতে যাই দেন হচ্ছে কোড ব্লক এই ইরোরটা শো করতেছে স্যার। কান্ট ক্রিয়েট আউটপুট ডিরেক্টরি বিন স্ল্যাশ ডিবাগ স্ল্যাশ।
ওকে, তাহলে একটু ওয়েট করেন। হ্যাঁ, আপনি দেখে নেন।
ওকে স্যার।
আমরা হচ্ছে ফাইল মেনুতে বা এখান থেকে যে কোনো খান থেকে হোক আমরা নিউতে গিয়ে তারপর হচ্ছে প্রজেক্টে যাব, নিউ প্রজেক্ট, তারপর আমরা দিব কনসোল অ্যাপ্লিকেশন। ওকে, কনসোল অ্যাপ্লিকেশন দেওয়ার পর যদি গো দেই তাহলে উইজার্ডটা আসবে। এখানে গিয়ে সি ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজ চুজ করবেন, নেক্সট দিবেন। এখানে হচ্ছে প্রজেক্টের কিছু একটা টাইটেল দিবেন, ঠিক আছে? সাম্বল প্রজেক্ট বা এরকম কিছু একটা টাইটেল দিবেন, ঠিক আছে? এটা হয়ে গেল। এরপর হচ্ছে নেক্সটে যাবেন, তারপর হচ্ছে কম্পাইলার এটা ঠিক আছে, এখানে জাস্ট দেখবেন এই দুইটা টিক মার্ক আছে কিনা, তাহলে ফিনিশ দিবেন। আপনার কি ফিনিশ দেওয়ার পর এররটা হচ্ছে?
জি স্যার, এটা হয়েছিল, দাঁড়ান একবার চেক করি।
করে দেখেন, যদি এরর হয় বেস্ট অপশন আমি বলি এররটা সরাসরি আপনি গুগলে লিখে দেন, তাহলে আপনাকে ইয়া করতে পারেন, আপনি বেটার রেজাল্ট পেতে পারেন। ওকে, আমাদের ক্লাসের সময় শেষ, সো আর কথা বাড়াচ্ছি না, আজকের মতো আমরা শেষ করি, ঠিক আছে?
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম।